Alright, let's start this off quickly. So, this is a book that I finished yesterday, and well, yeah, we could just really start into it. It's ironic, the introductory essay by Ian Hacking. He said, or Ian Hacking. He said that this was a great book. And when I think of great books, I think of the past books that I have read. Like, for instance, What is Enlightenment? That book. That was a great book. The Power of Myth. That was also a great book. How to Read a Book. Like, all these books are great books in my mind, and I don't think this falls in that category. This kind of falls, for me at least personally, this falls into like just like a normal. It's just a normal book. It's just a normal book, and I'm pretty sure for that time, 50 years ago, it was probably literally just revolutionary. They them saying things that pretty much no one knew at the time, but 50 years later, a lot have changed. We're not in the 80s anymore. A lot has changed. 80s or 70s, whichever time that was. But this was not a great book. We're just gonna start off by saying that this was a normal book, a normal read that was informative. So all the books that I read are informative, or at least they teach me something. So basically, the main part of the book that I remember is that all, or not all, but most revolutions that happen in the scientific realm with normal science, they're basically all accidental. And what this means is that they found this stuff out on accident. So, for instance, the guy who found oxygen and air, this dude, it was in like the 1770s. He found it on accident. He didn't even know he found it until a guy later on was looking for it, and then the other guy did a study on it, and then he found it, and then the other dude was like, "Wow, I've been had that result." So he already found this, literally on accident. Like, he didn't even mean to. It was just something else, and that's really the thing with. I feel like that's the thing with a lot of things. Like, for instance, natural selection. Like, this stuff just happens on accident. Obviously, there's a cause and effect, but like, we don't get to decide. Like, I don't get to decide what my next upgrade will be. Well, yes, I do. With these books, I do get to decide what my next upgrade will be and the next scientific revolution in my life. But I don't get to decide what, you know, okay, I do get to decide a lot of things. I would say as a whole, we don't get to decide. We don't get to decide when we'll find out when the Big Bang, when we find out what exactly happened in the Big Bang. Like for natural science and things of that nature. So, for our personal lives, I don't think this is true. We might find things out on accident, but I don't think that's necessarily true for our personal lives. And also, another thing was that with, well, they mentioned the scientific theory, which is, and this is like basic stuff they taught us in school, but basically you learn something, or you want to try it out. So you have the study, then you see if the study goes with your thesis, your hypothesis, and then if it doesn't, you change your hypothesis to your thesis, or what, I'm not sure what they're called, but the scientific thing. I don't know why they kind of mentioned that. I don't know if that's supposed to be a good part, but it was pretty normal. Like I said, it was pretty normal. And this book, the thing about it is, it wasn't really life changing. I got this book recommended for me from the Sherlock Holmes book. He mentioned that just to try and read it. So I read it, and it wasn't life changing. But who knows? Someone else might read it and it might change their lives. But for me personally, this was not a great book, and I don't want to say I'm offended, but I'm kind of perplexed on why Ian would lie to me, lie to the world. I think I could speak for everybody. Why would he lie to the world like that? I don't think this book was revolutionary. Yeah, it would. It was not. Now, that's not to put down the author, but when when I read all these great books, like this just doesn't amount to it. And it's ironic that I'm critiquing it simply because I haven't read a lot of great books. I guess since I haven't read a lot of great books, I can see and I can deduce which ones are great and which ones aren't. Cause there's just a select few. Like I think I only mentioned 4 books out of pretty much 100 that I've read that are great. So you know. So actually, I'm official with this. So this is not counted as a great book. So this was a structure of scientific revolutions.